See, I don't understand this.
We are here. My name is Steve Willis, along with air show announcer Brittany, the real Rob Lowe, and celebrating 50 years of entertainment at Oshkosh, Mr. Hollywood himself, Danny Clisham. Hello, all of you.
Border to border and coast to coast, the host that loves you most, and it's showtime.
All right, and with that, we're actually getting an early start today, Rob, aren't we?
We are, and we are ready to go with the national anthem. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would.
Stars through the pale.
At this time, so the Golden Knights are circling high overhead in a distinctly painted C-147 aircraft at an altitude of 2,500 feet. The jump master's actually looking out the left door of the aircraft. His head is up and cold. In a matter of moments, members of the Golden Knights will perform what is known a demonstration accuracy stack. Watch for the perfectly timed exits and openings of the main canopies. Third exit setting in this direction, the remaining jumpers glide to precise opening points awaiting his signal. Watch for the parachutes. And there you have the high-flying black and gold of your United States Army parachute team, the Golden Knights. The parachute used by the Golden Knights are flexible wing gliders, constructed of lightweight ripstop knots. These parachutes have an inherent forward airspeed of up to 22 miles per hour. Unlike the military jet teams, the United States Army parachute team is comprised mostly of non-commissioned officers. The 89 men and women of the Golden Knights come from various jobs throughout the Army to spend 3 years in one of the 5 major sections of the team. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise as they bring it into the target area for your favorite audience at Oshkosh. The trail smokes each jumper leave in the sky are created by M18 red smoke canisters, which emit a continuous stream of smoke for up to 90 seconds. The jumper attaches to one with a specially designed bracket. Then ties the activation pin to a lanyard. By pulling on this lanyard, ignite this immediately upon exiting the aircraft while in free fall or on speed. And more conventional Army units, these same smoke canisters are used as ground-to-ground signal devices, ground-to-air signal devices, or screening devices to conceal troop movement. These specially selected airborne soldiers demonstrate their skills each year to millions of aspects
In the men's category. Now you say the guy retired, he sold his airplane. You ask him back because you love him so much because he's so good in aerospace, Hart Self-Propeller, B&C Specialty Products, and Goodyear Aviation. So back by popular demand, the team we call the Two Cool Dudes. The history of these guys are absolutely amazing. I told you about all the honors and accolades of Matt Chapman, Bill Stein, complete air show routine, so reminiscent of his work here at EAA and around the globe. We'll tell you more about that later. Gentlemen, Rob Lowe, the real Rob Lowe, it's up to you.
Hey, thanks, Eddie. We appreciate that. We have something very special for you now, ladies and gentlemen. We've been joined on stage by the folks from the Jungle Aviation and Relay Service. They have been here supporting us all week long like they always do with their short takeoff and landing aircraft. And they've got a very special one that they're about to tell you about. I've been joined here on stage by Rachel Stoner and Stephen Russell.
Most decorated aircraft in the world today, and a lot about the great pilot and his late father as well. Chance Vaught F4U Corsair is one of the finest fighters ever built. It earned the nickname Korean War hero for its remarkable performance as a ground attack aircraft in the Korean War. This aircraft served on the USS Boxer and the USS Valley Forge aircraft carriers, making her one of the very few warm oil in the prop governor. For reliability and speed. And the sound of raw power. Features of the aircraft as well. When the pilots got out of the dogfight arena, they were out of bullets, anything that could damage the enemy both in the air and on the ground. They often had a trick called flat. Speed, power, and maneuverability made this airplane a favorite during World War II and the Korean War. Allowed for a very short or stubby gear. Pinnacle of Corsair designs. World War II, it made its debut. Impressive score of aerial victories against Japan's best fighters. And again, 1976, 77, and 78, you can watch the TV series under two names. They were shot at Indian Dunes in California, Southern California, out in the Channel Islands. And the exquisite slow roll. In addition to having a very stubby gear, which is part of the reason that wing was attached at a low point on the fuselage of the banana pass. Now, in addition to, he gathered up 6 or 7 Corsair owners and operators in the U.S. and said all of our aerial stuff is going to be real. Kevin LaRosa, Hollywood stunt pilot, was the guy that coordinated that. Look at that high-speed dash. Showing you the speed of the Corsair. Production run again from about 1940 to the winter of 1952 and 53, depending on whose bio you read. Many modifications and improvements throughout the course of that aircraft. They never rested on their laurels. They kept a fighter aircraft and not go to the slammer. This is EAA. This is our fun. We got a lot of pyros today and a lot of warbirds today, so the ground is going to shake. And that must have been a direct hit because Jim Tobel executed what we call the victory roll. Sure, you give him a wave. It's warbird time. Let's kick this thing up.
Here we go, Danny. We've got a lot to do today, and we've got a lot.
Level to your right, coming from right to left, is the Pink Jet. Let's welcome the Pink Jet. The Pink Jet is a flying symbol of hope, strength, resilience, and awareness in the fight against breast cancer. Owned and operated by the nonprofit Aerial Angels, the Pink Jet is an L-39 Albatross military trainer jet that travels across the country. The racing jet, the Blue Jet, is flown today by Chris McMillan. Chris is a lifelong aviation enthusiast. Born in Latvia, discovered her passion for aviation at the age of 16 and never looked back. Olga has flown life-saving medical transport missions, earned her airline transport pilot certificate, and now flies large cabin jets to commercial airliners and custom-built racing aircraft. Beyond raising awareness, the Pink Jet team speaks to aviation groups, flight schools, and community organizations about the signs and symptoms of breast cancer and the importance of early detection. Their goal is air racing, warbirds, and air shows. Find the Pink Jet online at thepinkjet.org, and the Pink Jet social media handle is @thepinkjet. See your community interaction with the Pink Jet online at social media @thepinkjet. And we want to give a shout out to young lady Margaret, who was very kind this morning to give us decorative items. And here we go, Chris in the Blue Jet above, taking off. Here you go. Olga Stanikova flying the Pink Jet. We wish those two pilots flying safe today. They're heading
28. all in that group. So keep your eye on them as they're high. They'll circle to the west. But out in front, what's going to circle around immediately, you see the smoke on straight out in front, Steve. Those are L-19 bird dogs.
Also known as the Jeep with wings.
The Jeep with wings, absolutely. And right behind them, it's hard to tell their altitudes here, but you see the two smaller aircraft. Those are the Chipmunks, the de Havilland Chipmunks. There's two of those. And out in front, look low and to the right, you see three aircraft. First is the Vultee BT-13. Basic trainer, and on each wing is the L-17 Navion in that group. So all of those are our liaison and observation aircraft. You see two B-25s that we'll talk more about later, but watch closely now to the right. You'll see the BT-13 coming in. Look overhead, you got C-47. So ladies and gentlemen, keep your head on a swivel. We have warbirds everywhere. There's P-51s back behind us as well. So look to the right here. You're going to want to look at the BT-13 from the Vultee, the Consolidated Vultee Corporation. Birds coming from right to left, Steve. Steve, here. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
All over you, buddy. Go.
Joining rockets. And we just might see some of that later on today with our Tora bomb squad over in the pyro field, but the L-19's part of our liaison and observation. And of course the two Chipmunks, the Chipmunk reunion was going on this week at AirVenture, and we have
in the original Art Show modified retractable Super Chipmunk, now in the Smithsonian. So very historic Super Chipmunks, as is some of these other aircraft.
Navions very popular post-World War II.
All right, Steve, folks, you want to get your cameras out right here. Steve, one more time, the Chipmunks following through with our liaison and observation aircraft here as they come through. What a...
Well, our B-25s are now inbound. Combat during World War.
Steve, is those engine noises? Pulls up. The first C-47 that passed through was
Wabbit Express, celebrated for her original wartime nose art.
This job, we can tell our aircraft from the enemy, and ladies and gentlemen, from the right, celebrating D-Day and the 90th anniversary, 2 C-47s. Try to sneak in really quick too, Steve. Watch the P-51 high fighter covering. Now you got.
Oshkosh tornado. Now without hesitation. Next maneuver is a Nicolator. Back and inside with upright light spin. If you think this is wild, just watch the action. Yo! As promised, there is the spin. Now Bill setting up for the turnaround. It's time for us to go to the cockpit. And
they honored you at briefing, honoring your 50th year at AirVenture as an announcer. And I'm just proud to know you. You have been an inspiration to so many people in this industry and affected everybody more than just announcers in so many ways.
Here as well. He's one of the great members of the Ann Arbor Air Force, a group of great international, well-known pilots, many flying here. His parents took him to air shows in Southeast.
Hey, Oshkosh, welcome back. Major Taylor Feaster, call sign, Taylor Feaster, call sign FEMA. Here he is, from the right. United States Air Force Air Combat Command Viper Demo Team, based out of Shaw Air Force Base, North Carolina. I encourage you to follow them on social media if you don't already. You can find them at Viper Demo Team, and you can follow FEMA specifically at FEMA Heaster. That is some amazing videos, things, history you will see nowhere else. He's an amazing leader. He puts out a tribute to veterans all the time. He flies on behalf of our beautiful country. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is from the right, FEMA and the Viper Demo Team F-16 Falcon.
Wait, that's illegal?
And like I said, if you're not already following FEMA on social media, classic FEMA putting on a show. He's a showman and a patriot. Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more huge welcome for FEMA and the Viper Demo Team.
A big one for us, 55 years since the first time that Goodyear came to EAA AirVenture. The new technology on it and what it allows us to do. So at the moment we've got Captain Michael Dockery up there, and he's busy doing what we call the roller coaster, also known as the NASA Zero-G Parabella. With the aft engine on that, we're able to reverse the thrust on those aft props, which is allowing him to have the maneuverability he has to pitch the airship up and down like that.
That was something I learned earlier today when I was talking to Doc, that there's a engine on the back. I just thought there were the two in the front.
Yeah, we have 3 Lycomings on there. Is a high alpha, which would normally for an aircraft be a high power maneuver, but over here we just pitch.
So he's actually controlling the throttles right and left. To get it to,
that's right, using differential thrust. Going full power one side, closing it, and then switching it over to the other side. So something special about these new airships that we have with the thrust vectoring we can do with the forward engines on the aft engine is that we can actually truly hover this airship, unlike the older ones. And right now we're going to see how they can actually do a vertical landing with a touchdown and vertical takeoff again. There we can see now the water drop. That's water ballast that we carry, that we are able to release in flight to change the weight of the airship instantaneously.
And if you're not seeing where it is, it's right on the bottom side of the gondola, just in front of the red flashing strobe.
He's doing a spin climb out, and that's also the aft engine, that lateral prop, which works the same as a tail rotor, helping him to be able to do that turn and do a high altitude climb out.
I think I see Doc looking out the window. Everybody give him a big wave. Goodyear's Wingfoot 1 starts. Where the wind is and where they'll need to time their jump, and also their jump run with the C-47 when they come back in a few minutes. Watch for the streamers to come out. The jump master, there they go. The jump master just threw those out. Now he's actually leaning out the door in the back. He's watching where they're coming down, and then when they actually hit the ground, they will, as we said, when they did the streamer drop, these will be round canopy parachutes, and the World War II aerial demonstration team performs all over the country, and they have authentic, not only authentic parachutes, but also authentic gear that they're wearing, and they're preparing now to exit the aircraft. The jump master and the pilot have adjusted their course to factor into the wind, and they'll be timing their jump to land in the drop zone. Again, it's the orange triangles to the north and to the south.
And Steve, the parachutes that we're going to see, as you mentioned earlier, are round. They are not the steerable round canopies that you saw earlier from the Golden Knight. So watch for that. Once they're under canopy, they're pretty much at the mercy of the wind. I want you to also watch when they land. They are not able to flare like you can with the other kind of parachute. And there they come, ladies and gentlemen. We have jumpers away. Watch for that tuck and roll when they touch down.
Looks like 10 good shoots.
Steve, this entire team is based out of Frederick, Oklahoma. And like you said, their goal is to accurately recreate and reenact what it looked like for paratroopers during World War II. So you can imagine the night before D-Day, June 5th, 1944. Behind enemy lines, it would have looked much like this, times 1,000 or more.
Exactly. with the 800 C-47s that were in the initial paratroop drop, and depending on what their load was, anywhere from 10 to 14 paratroopers came out. And as you can see, they are just hanging by their shrouds, just gently coming down. But that will change very quickly when they get to the ground. As Rob mentioned, they'll kind of do a tuck and roll and get their canopy under control, and then we'll get the vehicles out to recover them. We've got one getting very close here at show center, so watch for his landing.
Now, Steve, I think each one of these paratroopers has something with them that's very unique and celebratory for us here in Wisconsin.
It certainly is. Each paratrooper is carrying a photo. By the way, their jump plane, Demo Wildcat, is actually a 501c3 registered organization. You can find them on the web and follow their team schedule, but they do jump all around the country. Again, that's the World War II aerial demonstration team out of Oklahoma. Aerial demonstration team for their professionalism today, and all the practice that went into this demonstration today. So they are getting everybody put together, and we are going to change things up in just a moment as they pick up the last of the paratroopers. We'll welcome in Gentleman Jim Pikes
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the most feared aircraft in the world today, your United States Air Force's F-22 Raptor!
with Brittany's on here as well with us, and Brittany's getting excited, ready to watch the entire show as we go here. So, how long are you all in the United States besides when you're here at Oshkosh this trip?
So this trip, we were only in Atlanta a few months ago. We started in Wuhan.
High into your left. He now pulls back on the stick. Reacquires show center. Tumbles the aircraft with a 2-snap rolls on the 45 down line. Ends up inverted. And that's right here. Get it out. You're going to want to capture this memory of the Flying Bulls to party right here from the left.
I like those.
And again, we've mentioned all week long, we're just there we go, power coming up now on the DC-6. Enjoy the final pass from the Flying Bulls DC-6 and B-38.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to hand the microphone over to your United States Air Force Air Combat Command, Flight Control Team.
local midstream watching at home. John, it's down.
Into the seat at 9 times the force of gravity, sustaining his new body weight of 1,800 pounds while flying with the we hope our performance has inspired you to serve your country alongside the professional men and women you see here in action today, either flying in the cockpit of an F-16 or on the ground guaranteeing its readiness to fight.
Arriving at over 400 miles an hour in a demonstration of speed, precision and teamwork, the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows. As the team ease up and come round to the right, they're led by Wing Commander John Bond, known as Bondy or Boss. Bondy's in his 8th season flying display aerobatics with the Red Arrows, making him one of the most experienced display pilots we've had. Sitting just 8 feet away on his right-hand side is Flight Lieutenant Rob Thomas. Rob's in his 2nd year with the team and is a former Eurofighter Typhoon pilot and has operated overseas in Saudi Arabia flying the Hawk T-165. As the jets sweep in from the right-hand side and the smoke comes on shortly, the aim of the first half of the show is for all 7 aircraft to operate as one. The team do this by listening to the commands from the team leader. Reds 4 and 5 dynamically roll back to set up the shape of Eagle. Our Hawk team are all being flown manually by the pilots, and any of those changes in aerodynamics are on the outside. They're setting up to fly one of the most technically challenging parts of the first half of the show, and anybody who's flown in formation will know how challenging. They're now going to barrel roll all 7 aircraft with the colour coming on through the vertical.
2807.
Seven-ship rollback.
Oh, wow.
The abort call from Dusty lets the team leader know that the aircraft are rolling around behind. Keep your eyes on the aircraft as they park ground front to set up for the green ball split. Reds 1, 2 and 3 are out to the left-hand side. Reds 4, 5, 6 and 7 are out to the right. Red 6 is leading the 4-ship to the right. That's Flight Lieutenant George Hobday. Equal judgment and matched flying.